Okay, this is Richard, and let's get right into it. So this one is called I Promise. This is another book reading. I promise to not downplay the worth I held inside. I promise to never compromise my dreams because you lack belief. I promise to walk on my head held high. Hey, how are you? Like I am redeemed. I promise to keep the commitments I make to myself, even when times I felt like I should off myself. I promise to be here for the person I will become. I promise to be here for I just said that. I promise to gaze at the mirror and say aloud, I am loved. I promise to never cling to vices. I promise not to adhere to unsolicited advices. I promise to live my life with intention. I promise not to give up on my message. I promise to seek therapy when needed. I promise to be okay with inner healing. I promise to alter the script you wrote for me. I promise when life gets hectic to just breathe. I promise to shower my spirit with affirmations. I promise to be the hope for future generations. I promise to never undermine me. I promise not to allow naysayers to define me. I promise to keep my aspirations alive. I promise to not slip my wrist tonight. I promise I promise to keep the faith. I promise that I'm not wasting space. I promise to not discard me. I promise to be a leader. I promise not to waver. I promise to confide in the Savior rather than a chaser. I promise my dreams won't die in my hands tonight. I promise my dreams won't die in my hands tonight. I promise, as long as I'm breathing, to still fight. I promise to break generational curses. I promise to stop lashing out because I project hurting. I promise to never place labels over me. I promise to stop checking people and check me. I promise not to be a people pleaser. I promise to never shy away from my gifts either. I promise to uplift, to forever uplift. I promise never to forfeit. I promise to see every test as a testimony. I promise to give God the glory. I promise to change the victim story to a victor story. I promise to empower others to call 988, not Maury. I promise to not hang my head in shame. I promise to leave my mark before I reach the grave. I promise to not allow you to drain my mental energy. I promise to practice self-care as my daily remedy. I promise to be a friend of mine. I promise not to contemplate suicide because someone needs me. I promise to place myself on a pedestal. I promise to not deem myself as regular. I promise to be a friend of mine. I promise not to be a friend of mine. I promise not to contemplate suicide because someone needs me. I promise to place myself on a pedestal. I promise not to deem myself as regular. I promise to see my word through God's eyes. I promise to never lie. I promise to envision mental abuse differently. I promise it happened for me. I promise to be someone's lifeline. I promise to never compromise. I promise to envision mental abuse differently. I promise to listen to my own voice and not hinder me. I promise to never be victimized by self-sabotage. I promise to love the person that I've become. I promise to be the catalyst for change. I promise to not commit suicide today. I promise to choose affirmations over mental cage. I promise to love me until my final days. So that was another poetry reading from my book, From Victim to Victor, Transforming Trauma into Triumph. It is available on Amazon, also available on my website. If you did not know, if you get it on my website, you get the custom bookmark that says I am victorious because my past does not define me. and you get a wristband, as well as a postcard as well that says you're valued. And this poem is really deep for me, because I promise is basically saying to myself, like, I promise not to give up on myself, because there's so many times where I allowed everybody else's voice to take precedence in my life. And I realized that in order for me to really stand firm in my beliefs, I really had to shift my psyche, shift my narrative. I promise it's a story about times where I almost gave up on myself, and this is like an ode to myself and the past me, that, I've come so far, and it's like pretty much and enforcing that sentiment of, like, I promise not to give up on myself, because I see myself as making a difference. I see myself as doing more. I see myself meant for more. I see myself as legacy, doing big things for the universe. And hey, bro, how are you? I just feel like I'm capable of doing so much with this book. I promise is basically about promising to not be stuck in the victim's mentality that I had before, where I felt like I was not enough, and I felt like I was clinging on to vices and self-harm and things like that I'm not proud of. And me speaking about it gives me freedom to actually be honest and transparent that I never was always okay. Like during the pandemic, I shared a few times that I was going through a lot of things that a lot of people didn't know. I was going through mental abuse, and I was able to find healing in doing some inner work, but I didn't allow it to destroy me or kill me. I did the inner work to be able to come on the other side of it, so I'm grateful. And I promise it's basically taking back my power. It's basically saying that regardless of anything that I've been through in the past, it's a reminder that I'm still here, and I'm still breathing, and it's for a reason, and it's to serve someone else, because my story is important, and my desire is that my poem, and if you get the book and you read the poem, I promise that how do you promise, what are you promising yourself for this year? What's your next level? What do you promise? What do you promise yourself, in regards to getting to your next level? And for me, I promised, to myself not to succumb to suicide and not to be a statistic. And I'm alive because I stood firm on that belief that my voice is powerful, and that I'm not leaving my gifts and my book on the shelf. And it's very important for me to just know that and realize that everything that I've been through is calling me to just be like a leader. Everything I've been through it's really helping inform other people's lives, because I'm able to actually empathize with them, because I've been through the same, not all the same things, but there's some things I've been through that I can speak to from experience. But yeah, I promise it's just about keeping my promise to myself. I just say I promise not to discard me. There was so many times I discarded myself. I allowed myself to be just fixated on things that were not positive, and I didn't treat myself with any regard. I wasn't really taking care of myself in regards to my sleep. I was overworking myself to exhaustion, and I experienced a lot of burnout because I was chasing validation, and excuse me, and I didn't keep the promises I made to myself, that I was, I was, and in regards to loving myself. And, I realized that, I even say, like, I promise as long as I'm breathing, I'm gonna still fight. I will fight. For me, it's not even like a negotiation. It's for me, it's like stand firm, bootstraps on, like, ready for war, because I promise it's pretty much saying that, hey, past happened. I learned from it. I'm not dwelling on it. I'm just, thinking about what did I take from that. A lot of the things that I took from the past and the things I didn't promise myself is, how you doing? Christy, I promised myself to be here because I wanted to be here for my family, and that's really the main reason why um, I promise is so important. Because it was like me saying to myself, finally, I pick me, I choose me for once in my life, rather than choosing everybody else but me and keeping myself on the back burner to please everyone else but myself. And I promise is a testimony for me to just continue going on my journey. Like I said, I promise to love me, to my final days, because at the end of the day, no one's, gonna love me if I don't love myself. And I realized that the promises I make to myself, even this year going forward, to continue on the path of sharing my music, putting out, the book and things like that. It was a promise that I had, that I was intentional about, because with the intention of putting out this book, it allowed me to realize that it was serving other people who I didn't even know yet. And it allowed me to see the things that I went through differently. It allowed me to see the things that I was going through as a stepping stone for someone else's future, a stepping stone to my new realized inner self, if you will. I feel like I'm transformed. And that's pretty much, what I want to say about I Promise. If you didn't get the book, this book is available on Amazon, also on my website. Links are on the bio. I also have a new single called Save Me. If you didn't check it out, please check it out. It's also on my bio. Please support, please share. If you feel like, if there's something that, if there's a way, if there's other ways you want to pay, I have Zelle, I have Cash App, I have, what's the other app? Cash App, Zelle, Venmo. Like if money is an issue, you know, please let me know. I will direct you to those links. But this book is so important for me to be able to share a message of resilience. I always say this resilience because the pandemic really, really showed how resilient I was to get the help I needed, to be able to get, you know, get the resources and really do the work to get to the other side. And this book is a testimony of all the things that I went through and all the things that I've overcome, like mental abuse, suicidal ideation, resentment, and things like that. So that is it for today. If you are in Single Hall, I'll be Single Hall tonight, promoting my book as well. So I will start getting ready. Yeah, so thank you. I'll start getting ready, and I hope you guys have a great day. Again, book is in the bio, and please support if you're able to. Thank you so much.